Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Dutch campaign, where we are fighting over the Caliphate, and we're desperately trying to take it before the US does. Last episode, we started our new light cruiser line, and eventually I want to have at least 20, maybe even 30 of these ships. And I want to phase out, I want to start to phase out some of the older classes. That's my main goal for today's episode. Upgrading the escort fleet, essentially. A couple more turns and then my latest battleship and battleship refit will be done. So then I have more than enough shipbuilding capacity and also more than enough money to actually do so. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay, let's continue bombarding the ports. 8 transports sank. How many transports do you have in that port, mate? I sank quite a few already. Naval invasion is looking good, 4 out of 6. We are still building those big ships, so I'm only slowly... Damn, that is even too much. That's unfortunate. I do want that... Well, one more turn and then the Kurashima is done. Then we can start producing more cruisers. Okay, damn, I had hoped that it would just fit, but nope, it doesn't. Also, this destroyer may actually return to port. Main wars are over, so no need for me to panic and keep everything on lockdown, I suppose. The Asian fleet has returned as well. Gonna send some ships to different ports. There we go, that'll be better for my finances. Right, let's continue. The refit is done. We can start building a lot of light cruisers now. Interesting. That poor port. Syria has been taken by the US. Yeah, we are really getting into each other's zone of control, I suppose. Amsterdam, Kurashima and Stroopwafel are both done, of course. Now, last month I didn't build a cruiser, so I want to build one extra now. I want to start building up the ships, but I also want to gain money, so each month I will build another light cruiser. Or 2, yeah, maybe 2 each month extra. Just to get the fleet numbers up, but also get my funds up to 1 billion. Billion, gazillion, whatever it's called. It's a lot. Oh wow, that was a very fast turn. Didn't even have time to go to my OBS and pause the recording. Korea, no. Alliance, no. At this stage of the game, I'm actually... Ooh, we took the Bosporus. Nice. Lebanon, the entire Middle East, is essentially either Russian or American. This is terrifying. I was gonna say, at this stage of the game, if a nation doesn't like me, I'm not too worried anymore. I got a good fleet. I'm confident in my abilities. The north of Turkey is the more useful place to take. One of my ships is badly damaged, by the way. Swanenberg, where are you? You're a cruiser, right? Yeah. Let's move you to dock. Hopefully I get the right boat, probably not, we'll see. And let's queue up 2 extra light cruisers. 3 months before the next battleship is done. Alright, look at that. Naval funds. That feels very nice to have. Yeah, I think the naval invasion is in the different port area. Oh well, it happens. Okay. Yeah, definitely the wrong zone. That's okay. We'll just move our ships here. And what kind of ship is this? Ottomans? You build a boat. 2 destroyers. How cute. Can I keep them? Alright. Just building 2 more cruisers. I'm building 7 now. Yeah, that battleship was almost done, right? 2 months, and that repair 1 month. Alright. Excellent. Yes. That gives me room for another light cruiser to be built. At least 1. Maybe 2. Probably 1. Didn't really count. We have a meeting. I'm sorry, I'm gonna auto-resolve that one. It's kind of scary though that I'm taking Turkey as the Netherlands. I mean, I got part of Spain. Rather Turkish than Spanish, right? As we used to say. Okay. Look at that now. Yeah, we have 8 of these ships currently. Now we have 15. But that's not doable. Yeah, 5 of them. I'm an idiot. And I can't count. That happens when you record in the middle of the night. At least it's quiet, but... You know what? I have the feeling, scrap you as well. And we're definitely at capacity. Okay, 11. Yeah, I want to get at least 15 of these. But like I said, let's go to classes. The Scorpion is doing 26 knots. The North Sea, 26 knots. This one does 25.2 knots. It's still reasonably fast, but it's not great. So I think what I want to do... maybe upgrade the Northern Hooks. Maybe upgrade the Scorpions. Keep the Scorpions in service at least. And then scrap the North Seas. Yeah. Yeah, because these have 5 7-inch guns. These have 7 7-inch guns. They are cheap though, the North Seas. That is a thing. These are very small, cheap ships. So are the Scorpions, very small. You know what? Let's take a look if we can upgrade the Scorpion class. I mean, the hull is workable, right? A hull like this. And yeah, simply getting these guns upgraded is a good thing. We can install better torpedoes. Go to full oil. That gives me 300 tons to work with, folks. And I want to try something now. It's too far. Where does my gun go? My gun just disappeared. Okay. Because that big new cruiser that I made has 7 guns, and I want to see if I can build this ship to have 7 guns as well. And I think I can. I mean, we can turn it into something like this, right? Or I can save a bit of weight and put this gun here. Can I move the torpedoes? Yes, I can. Then I can move you, and that gives this gun... No, there's something here blocking. It's probably a... Okay. We can do this, but I don't like... No, I don't like the torpedo angle. So I'll do this. This way, these ships, 26 knots, good range, very good range, 7-inch guns. Sure, less torpedoes than the other ship, but... Ooh, that sucks. Let's get a base fuse in, actually. Okay, we're 61 tons overweight now. 19 tons overweight. Let's go with that. Okay, with cordite it actually works, but I'd rather have this. We already have oil. I could bring the range back down to 12,000. That's actually plenty of range. And that solves the issue, right? And then increase main deck a couple of ticks. Like so. I mean, this way, this cruiser is still very viable, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the class for now. I'm gonna keep the class. With the extra gun, she is viable indeed. And cheap. 1916 Scorpion class. Nice. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see, what else can we do? Let's go back to the light cruisers. Do I want to keep the original design? Or will I say, like, okay, we got a new Scorpion now? 1916 design. How about we copy this design and then scrap the original? Just so we have a cheap, small ship that we can produce in case of emergency. Consider this my my ultimate backup cruiser, essentially. And the original was, of course, the Scorpion. I think I'll call this one the Bat or something. Not the Z-Class. No. Or the Reindeer, essentially. Why not? Can we build you, though? Can we build you? That is the question. Yes, we can. Good. Okay, that means light cruisers. We have the Scorpions, but the old Scorpion design, 6 6-inch guns. Delete. The original North Sea class with her 3 7-inch guns. Yeah. That's upgraded to 5 in the upgrade. Yeah, that class gotta go. Delete. Yes. The Northern Hooks. Honestly, I'm not against them. Not a fan of them. I think I might scrap them later on, but let's first things first. How the hell did I lose the transport? Where did I lose the transport? That's weird. Ooh, Soviet Union. You're going at it, eh? A stereoscopic rangefinder 3. Interesting. At some point it will be useful to start transferring over to the stereoscopic ones, I think. For now, I'm happy with the rangefinders that I have. Oh, look at that! Turkish destroyers. Where did you come from? More importantly, where are you going? Over there, eh? Kashima, stop them. And from over here, we're gonna try to intercept them with Naira and Thor, I think. Okay. I'm losing a bit of money, but currently we have plenty of money, so that is fine. More than fine. Light cruisers, 10 months, 8 months, 6 months. Okay. In 6 months, the ships will start coming off the line. So essentially, around 1917, the new cruisers will be done. We have a strike. And a naval invasion. Okay, that's the port. That means we did not intercept the destroyers. The Turks are actually building a lot of new ships. Huh. The Americans are invading as well now. Oh yeah, they took the south. Well, not the south. What is it? The east? The west, pardon me. The US will be a very interesting nation to fight again one-on-one. Very interesting. Because, you know, you have to attack Asia, you have to attack the Middle East, you have to attack the US itself. No. We do not want a war like that. Because I'm not ready for that just yet. Not yet. Soon though. I think a war against the Russians is on the horizon by now. In terms of fleet power, I think we're fairly evenly matched. I got a bit more naval tonnage, but they got 4 battle cruisers, 7 battleships, yeah. Yeah, fairly equal, I think. I got a bit of an advantage in numbers, but that's mostly my heavy cruisers and my light cruisers. Oh, and destroyers, so Russians have a good chance. Also, wow, you really slipped past my my battleship there, mate. You two back here. My naval invasion looking very good. I will get it before, and oh, look at that. If I take this and that, I think that will be the end of the Ottoman Empire. Also, what kind of ships are these? Korean. Okay. Interesting. What is happening in Asia, by the way? Not much. From the looks of it, Africa. For those interested, not much is happening there either. Hello, Spain. How are you doing? And of course, Argentina is Austrian. The Russians and the Germans, of course, are going at it currently, so if the Germans would be so kind to neutralize part of the Russian fleet, I'm more than willing to, you know, continue my invasion here afterwards and destroy Russia. It would be interesting. Persia, scrap the turpits. No, how dare you? How dare you, sir? Okay. What do we have? Did we catch those destroyers? Yes, we did. I'm not gonna auto-resolve this one, because I want to see my newest battleship in action. Of course, this battleship does not have a lot of secondary guns, but, you know, 2 8-inchers, some 7-inchers, some 6-inchers, some 3-inchers hidden in the funnels. Yeah, she should be able to deal with the destroyers. I've been spotted. That'll be joined with my massive 14-inch guns. Aiming shot is out. We're gonna slow down to 22 knots. That was a terrible shot, wasn't it? It was. Tell me, what's the range on the torpedoes by now? 8.5 kilometers. Okay, I'm fine. 1 hit. Damage to a torpedo. Oh yeah, and then you're gonna, you know, you got a single small hit in, and then you're like, let's change targets. You muppets. 4 degrees left rudder, please. Let's slow down to 21 knots. You know what? 15 degrees left rudder. That is 8 inchers opening up. No torpedoes have been fired so far. 1 hit. 1500 damage. Enemy gunfire coming in now. Again, I don't mind getting into a gunfight with destroyers, not with a battleship. I mean, bring it on. Mind you, we are well within torpedo range, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I'm going to turn away. 1 hit. Flooding it. Nice. Ooh. Devastating hit there, but torpedoes inbound. Torpedoes inbound. Increase to flank. Let's just run straight. I'm not seeing them. Quickly getting out of torpedo range of that second ship. Oh, there they are. We're gonna slow down. 17 knots. Prepare to turn. Yeah, we outran the torpedoes there, I believe. Right, back to combat speeds. Bang. I was about to say, that's the end of a destroyer. The second destroyer is still on a long reload, so I can easily close in now. Sending her to the bottom of the ocean. That was a ramming course, actually. Good. A good showcase for the Kashima. We took a part of Turkey by ground. Good. Let's make sure we also defend it when the fleet goes back home. So I'm going to leave 2 destroyers there. And the fact that I can now block Turkey off here is awesome. 33%, 0%. My naval invasion is going to succeed first. Good. Germans are really pushing in. Excellent. Excellent. What is the status of the Russian and German fleets? Germany, do you still have fleets? Yeah, Germany has a strong fleet, actually. That is powerful. Interesting. What? Must be because we took more land. Does our economy is stronger? Does, relatively speaking, we don't have too many transports? Something like that? I'm willing to go with that theory anyway. Right, let's clean up Turkey. Yeah. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, I need to go into a war with the US and claim the Middle East. The problem though, if I go into a war with the US will keep sending ships to the North Sea. So it's a tricky balance. It's a balancing act, really. Another turn, more interesting news. Double turrets and light cruisers unlocked, of course. Now that I'm building a new class of ships, we finally get them. Northern Turkey is secured, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I think that is the last port for the Turks, isn't it? Let's take a look. No, they still have 4 provinces and 3 ports. Wow, they got roads still? Okay, fair. Let's go poke it. And they got Qatar and Kuwait. Really? Nice. Okay, yeah, I don't mind if they remain there. Also like the fact that Crete is German. Also, entirety of Greece is gone. Huh, didn't notice that. But the Ottomans will be driven out of Europe and the Middle East now. Good. Good. How much room do I have? Not a lot. How's the dockyard building going? 30%. Denmark is defending with the Russians against Portugal, Britain, and Germany. Oh. Great times, great times. Right. With the war against the Turks essentially dying down, I will off-screen probably take Rhodes. And yeah, there's not much else here. So I think I'll do a fast forward again. Italy and Japan are at war. Interesting. So you girls need to go into the port. Thank you, Munchlies. Yeah, get into Makassar. So yeah, I'll probably skip forward a bit until something interesting happens, either with the designer, in the world, wars, you name it. I'm really keeping an... Holy shit, the entire Russian fleet is gone. The entire Russian fleet is being repaired currently. Germany, what's your... Okay. Increased tension. With the entire Russian fleet gone, I'm more than willing to invade southern Russia here. Southern Russia, get the oil. Try to push into here. Oh yeah, I like that. Being able to push back the Russians would be nice. And, well, as we said, it looks like we have an advantage currently with all Russian ships being knocked out. So, without much further ado, let's hit the end turn and see what the future brings us. And the war continues, thank God. Would hate for the war to have ended already. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, peace has been declared between myself and the Turks. I'm gonna ask for their colonies. Not their ships, just their colonies. Qatar and Kuwait. I got Qatar, I got Kuwait. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, the Turks are dead. I just killed them in a peace deal. Goodbye, Turks. Oh my god, that was so silly. But yeah, the end of the Turkish Empire. Feels good. Feels good. Now, I need a lot of ships, but that's another problem. For now, the problem we're getting is we're gonna lose a lot of money next turn because the war is over. But at the same time, we're gonna get a lot of money because our economy will recover from all the war stuff, which is good. Oh, look at that, the Germans. One last clash with the Ottomans. Looks like the Germans came out on top. A couple of Turks, well, got saved somehow. And then they were like, yeah, no, we're done. Mass suicide. So, a couple of turns later, ladies and gentlemen, August 1917, light cruiser 4 hull just got obsolete and the scout cruiser got unlocked. The Faroe Islands have been taken by the Germans, and the Germans are also about to take Denmark, knocking Denmark really pretty much out of the game. My attempt to start a war with the Russians failed. The Russians paid it off, essentially. So my relations with the Russians is decent, and their fleet is back up, so yeah. My fleet is still far superior now, but let's not get into that. Denmark, on the other hand, yeah, the relation with the Danish is very good, but it's tempting to go after them. Anyway, my economy is slowly rebounding from the war, but I was like, yeah, our light cruiser project. We now have 11 Fokkers of the, well, 15-ish that I wanted. Let's also immediately upgrade the Scorpions. Now is a good time. Delete the old design. But then I was like, why build more Fokkers when we can have scout cruiser hulls? Let's take a look. Let's take a look to end this episode with a fun new design. Oh. Yeah, look. Oh, 30 knots. Yes. We are gonna make a 30 knotter. With oil and geared turbines, that will actually work. Let's not get a citadel in. Something like that. We don't have a lot of weight though, but we'll see what we can do, right? Do I want to do that or do I want to do this? I think I'll do this. Yeah. Aft tower. Oh, it's the dual barbette tower. Oh, that is fun. That is a fun tower. I approve of that one. Okay, yeah, this gives me... What's up with the texture there? Look at the texture of that tower. Minor error. Or my game is breaking down, that's also a possibility currently. I do want a single barbette. Yeah, definitely my game is lagging a bit. My other cruisers were slow, but had 7-inch guns. Sadly, okay, we can do that. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Right now it has 7 barrels, just like the old cruiser, so in that regard, this cruiser is equal in its firepower. For 5 torpedoes on either side. Let's turn that into 8 torpedoes to either side. Yeah, 8 torpedoes to either side, that works. I approve. Let's get enhanced reloading in, and we still need to armor up the turret, right? That's gonna be an issue. That is gonna be an issue, my friends. Yeah. Alright, first let's see what we want to get, then we'll see what we can get, okay? For 3-inch guns, the secondaries? I mean, sure. Yeah, Definitely want that 2-incher over there. Because, you know, that looks cool. Let's add some anti-aircraft guns. Again, not looking at the weight currently, just looking at what looks cool. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4 AA guns like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like it. Okay, now let's get serious. What can we do? Okay, that helps a lot. And that will fix the issue easily. Okay. How about that? Bit of a 4-weight offset though. So let's move the torpedoes back a bit. Let's move the main tower. And the funnel. I don't think I can move. Well, there was a secondary tower, of course, not the main tower. Should be able to move you backwards, though. And then I can move you backwards. For weight 0.9. That is better. Not to mention, we have a bit of room left. No, wait. Yay, we got room left, but we haven't armored up that turret yet. Okay, let's bring the torpedoes down to 21. That gives me at least a 3-inch protection. That is still not a lot. I could go with light shells. Allowing me to do this. Okay, at least the turrets have some armor now. I approve of having armor. I keep wanting to go back to normal bulkheads rather than reinforced ones, but yeah, that's not a thing in this mod. 6 is too much, but not too much. Let's see. Yeah, 5.5. Okay. So equal firepower, but a lot faster. Safe design. It's not heavily armored, sure, but plus 120%. So, you know, 10, well, a bit more than 10 actually, 120, not 100. Yeah. Yeah, I think we got a decent new cruiser. And with 30 knots, she is fast. In fact, she will be the fastest ship in my fleet. Oh, how lovely. And in terms of costs, she is the most expensive light cruiser ever built, but still cheaper than the heavy cruisers. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, minus 38 million. I do want to start building up those new ships as quickly as possible. But I do want to get my economy fixed maybe first. We'll see, we'll see. We also need destroyers, right? The X-Class, of course, is the 1914 design. 8 3-inch guns. Yeah, it has pea shooters and torpedoes. This thing is a torpedo spammer, while The M-class will be more of a escorting ship. But do I also want to have a gunboat destroyer? Also, we still need to retrofit our battle cruisers. You know what? I am gonna retrofit one of them to begin with, so I don't forget. New design. I want a new destroyer. I want a gunboat destroyer. Yeah, destroyer 2 hull, I think. It's not my favorite hull. Part of me is tempting to just go with the M-class, actually. Or maybe the destroyer 1 hull. 1,500 tons. Coastal defense ship. Well, I know, I'm terrible with naming conventions, okay? Don't hold it against me too much. Yeah, sure, just a single funnel. A single aft mast. And of course, we do need torpedoes. Yeah, 18-inch are the smallest. I think, even though it's a gunboat, getting at least 3 torpedoes on them is useful. 8-kilometer range is slightly inferior to the AI torpedoes of the what was it, Japanese that I fought? Well, this will give me for like 5 guns, right? 5-inchers. 1, 2, 5. I don't like this barbette. This barbette, well, no, let me rephrase that. I think it is a very cool barbette. But let's see if we can do anything funky with it. Let's move this aft tower all the way here. Then I want a torpedo over there. Okay, this way we can add 6 guns to the ship. Then I'm gonna move this aft tower back here, I think. I think that'll look better. And then the barbette over there. So 6 5-inch guns. That is nasty. She looks terrible. But and she's doing 28.8 knots rather than the 30 knots she need to have. Lower range. And I haven't added any armor to this ship now. No, don't like it. Don't like it. Back to the hull. also do... Hold on. Rather than the destroyers, I also wanted to build a battle cruiser with this hull before, and I never did. 30 knots, many bulkheads. Add some armor at least. Now let's cut into the beam because she looks very fat. It's a very interesting ship that we're building here. Very interesting indeed. Main guns. You can go up to only 13-inch? Okay, that surprises me. I would have expected more guns. More gun variety on this hull, but... I guess that is not the case. Then I do want 2 triples and a single in the afts. I know. The moment I said it. TNT. And let's go stereoscopic range finding. Let's add some armor there. Long-barreled guns. Being able to fire 20 kilometers. Now secondary guns. Can we add 6-inchers here? No, we cannot. Well, maybe we can. Single ones? Yes, single ones would work. But if that is the case, can we add 8-inchers? No, we can't. Damn. Well, we can, in terms of 8-inch firepower, do this as the main secondary armament, 2 8-inchers. And those 8-inchers will be supported by 3 5-inch guns. Hold on. I mean, come on, that looks better. Okay. That thing is 330 million currently. That is expensive. You have no sonar equipment on the capital ships here. That's interesting. Okay, let's make sure I don't blow up. Let's add some engines. Can we do this? Not both. In that case, rather have less range. Yeah. Maximum bulkheads. Standard crew quarters. Max AP shells, please. Ballistics is too much. Let's go with standards. Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad battle cruiser, I think. 300 million is very expensive. Like, how expensive is that compared to the others? Oh yeah. You are the most expensive ship ever designed. You're also a battle cruiser that does 30 knots. Rather than the William I, who does 28 knots. You have one more barrel, of course, as well in terms of firepower, and you're actually smaller. Smaller than William I. Interesting. Of course, Lexington as well. Looking at my battleships, we have quite a few battleship classes. The Shrewdwaffle, of course, was designed to be my main battleship. So maybe I should start building more of those, you know, and get rid of the Eendracht and the Protector. Oh, Unity and the Protector, I suppose. Both in English. Batavia, maybe phase her out as well by now. Especially because, 20 knots. They are very slow. Especially compared to the 26 knots that will be a good speed even in late game. Not great, no. In late game they would be the slow battleships, while they're the fast battleships now. But yeah. This girl, luckily we have none. Looking in terms of speed, we have 4 of these. And that is the most modern version of this ship, so let's see if we can upgrade them. Otherwise, honestly, this thing might get scrapped. If we can't upgrade the speed to at least 22 knots. Otherwise, she really is no longer useful. Let's start by doing that. 22 knots, check. 24. Okay, 24 knots. That is reasonable. Of course, these ships are very underperforming in terms of firepower by now. That won't work, will it? Holy hell, it would work. I know, we're overweight now, but that's what I would like. Getting 200 tons to save, though, that is difficult, I think. Especially since we also need to do that. No. No, let's scrap that turret, extra turrets. Instead... Okay, hold on. Oop, that is the wrong one. What I'm gonna do is change it around. Main gun on the barbette there. And then add a 5-incher like that. That is 4, 5 in. Oh, there we go. 6. In terms of casemates, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we lose some barrels, but in exchange they will be higher caliber secondaries. Yeah. Yeah, okay, this will be better, I think. Let's get better ammo in there. Okay. Yeah, this will keep these ships in service for at least another decade or so. They will not be upgraded much more, I think. But again, from 18 to 24 knots, that's a hell of an improvement. Yeah, let's get those ships upgraded. Yes, I know that will cost me a lot of money, but say goodbye to this class. At least the upgraded model, thank you. Batavia. Batavia is a very small destroyer. I'm gonna leave that as it is. Batavia. I'm gonna try upgrading her one last time. One last time, folks, and this will be the last upgrade for this episode, because we're really stretching the time here. I mean, this really is an old ship, isn't it? You know, we can downgrade her essentially to 9-inch guns Mark IIIs. 12 and 9. Yeah. That could be done. Or we can just keep the guns as they are and just say, hey, I want this battleship to go faster. 24 knots. 24 knots is pretty decent. With a new rangefinder. You are on enhance, you are on electrical 1, let's go electrical 2. Okay. Yes. More range, always good. Okay, with this, these ships can remain in service a bit longer. If I don't forget to upgrade them. Oof, that is a long loading time here. Okay. Done and done. Yeah, let's upgrade them. That is a large refit happening now. But, and we're going to lose a lot of money, I take it. Yes, indeed. For 2 turns. But then we have 17 ships that are actually useful again. Right, next episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue doing this. We're not going to hit the end turn, no. We are going to upgrade my ships. Because we have a lot of ships, like the Hector, like the Delft, that are in desperate need of an upgrade, I think. So see you next time, folks. And until then, take care.